Well, good evening. On behalf of the person that invited you to this Zoom, we want to say welcome. Welcome to what we truly believe to be the most prolific regenerative technology of our lifetime. Now, this is a different type of Zoom. This is our Medical Professionals X39 launch Zoom to discuss this technology and to discuss why you want to incorporate this technology into your life and every single person's life that you love. 17 months ago, my husband and I were asked the question, have you been patched yet? And we had no idea what that meant. We had no idea that it was going to change my life, my husband's life, and every single person's life that we know and that we love. So our prayer is that tonight, after you get off this Zoom, that you're going to want to give an overwhelming yes, that you're going to be filled with hope with what this technology can do for you and every single person that you know. Now, like I said, this is a special night. This is a Zoom that we want to highlight medical professionals that have actually incorporated this into their life and into their practice. From either 2 weeks all the way to 3.5 years of using this technology, every single one of them brings a different professional aspect into this Zoom. So with that, what we'd like to do is first of all say that this is not a normal disclaimer. This technology works on everybody, on everything, every single time, given enough time. But what we do want you to understand is that this technology is actually in the world of stem cells. So because of that, what we do want to remember is that every single person's story is going to be completely different. So do understand that this technology, we here on this Zoom do not treat or cure chronic diseases or illnesses with this technology. This life wave phototherapy technology does not heal or cure people. What this technology does is it gives the ability to the body to do what the body was created to do, which is heal itself. Now, why the stem cell activation technology? Before we hear from our health professionals, we want to talk about what this technology does and where it was derived from. By the time we're 30, half of our stem cells go dormant. Okay, by the time we're 60, 90% of them go dormant. The fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age and the slower that you heal. So important to understand that. Why? Because when you fall, when you're a child, you can get right back up, right? And the older that you are, the more difficult it becomes, right? You see a very noticeable decline starting in your 30s and then all the way up. And you see an increased risk of diseases, illnesses, joint pain. Why? Because your body does not have the ability to heal itself the way that it once did. Now, what are stem cells? Stem cells are the master building block of the entire body. Okay, it is their job to naturally repair and naturally renew the body. Now, tonight, you're going to be hearing from these health professionals on what exactly this technology has done for them and those that they've incorporated this with. But it's important for you to understand that stem cells, they're undifferentiated, which means they have the ability to turn into whatever cell is necessary in the body. So if you were to go into your kitchen right now and burn your hand on your stove, if you have awake and alert stem cells, those stem cells have the ability to travel, triage, which means go and pick whatever needs to be fixed first, second, third, fourth, fifth, put together a to-do list and turn into whatever is necessary. So if I were to burn my hand very, very badly and I were to burn that muscle, my stem cells can travel, triage, and begin to turn into whatever is necessary for my hand to be able to work again, and so on and so forth. So stem cells are vital. Okay, they're anti-inflammatory, they are regenerative, they fight those viruses and the fungus, right? Or the fungi inside our body. Okay, they are absolutely incredibly important when it comes to age reversal and living life. Now, before we introduce our guest tonight, I do want to give a little bit of a recap to bring some validity into this company. Okay. David Schmidt is the founder and the CEO of LifeWave and the X39. Okay. Now, over 20 years ago, he was actually contracted by the government to come up with something that the Navy SEALs could use that would keep them awake for 24 to 36 hours straight, ready for combat. Now, interestingly enough, at the time, our Navy SEALs were actually hooked on amphetamines, not to their fault, right? They just needed to be awake and alert. And so David Schmidt currently, what he was doing was he was actually doing defense weaponry for our our country. And so they knew him very well. So they said, look, David, we have a new problem. We need you to help us with our Navy SEALs. But one thing is that we cannot put any drug, anything inside their system to keep them awake. So David Schmidt said, challenge accepted. So he began to look at the body and he also began to research. And what he found was incredible. He found that the body actually responds to light frequencies in a very unique way that you're about to hear about. But what's incredible is that he found that there were other scientists that had done studies on this prior. And in response to different light frequencies and colors of light, the body actually would treat and heal its own disorders. So, absolutely brilliant. Deeper, he found that actually every living cell emits light, and that light is called a biophoton. Absolutely incredible. And then, as he was weaving into the science, he found that because of the light frequency, our DNA actually has chemical reactions to it and can produce things, okay? Can produce different peptides. So he dug very deep into this and he found that we as humans actually emit different frequencies between 1 to 2 centimeters off of our body. There's nothing weird there of light. And so he found that there was a specific red frequency of light that when reflected back in the body would elevate adrenaline. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the first ever technology that David Schmidt created through photobiomodulation, the reflection of frequency of light back into the body. The body elevated energy. Now, David Schmidt knew that he was onto something because not only did the Navy SEALs use this technology, but also Stanford University got wind of it. They began to study it and they found that this technology absolutely worked. They started incorporating it with their swim team. Michael Phelps got wind of it, and then it went on from there. So David Schmidt knew that he was onto something very unique. So he began to study those other colors and frequencies of light using an FTIR. This machine would actually help him look at the different emission of light frequency that we would have off of our body and reflecting it back, the body would have different chemical reactions. The body would elevate melatonin, the body would elevate glutathione. Well, he was after something very specific. And after 10 years and $4.5 million, ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the star of the evening, the X39, the first ever technology that reflects a frequency of light back into the body. And the body elevates what is called a GHKCU peptide. And in response to that GHKCU peptide, the body wakes up stem cells and absolute testimonies begin to happen. That GHKCU peptide, which is what you're looking at, does not need to be synthetically injected. The body produces it. And when that happens, the body begins to heal itself. So it's a proprietary form of phototherapy. When we're children, we're told to go outside and get our vitamin D. And we're taught that the vitamin D comes from the sun. And that's not accurate. The sun actually activates the body and the body produces vitamin D. Well, this technology reflects that frequency of light back in the body and the body elevates GHKCU peptides. It's made of a nanocrystal technology. That technology is made of amino salts, sugars, crystals that are grinded down to a specific mirror image. And when that mirror image reflects that frequency of light, absolute incredible things happen like you're about to hear. Now, the 80 case studies found, many of them found on thisisatinfo.com, the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. PTSD, anxiety, depression, memory loss, all of these things begin to be addressed. And then within 3 months, the collagen is increased, and it's clinically proven that the heart, the cardiovascular age of the heart, actually reverses. So it's absolutely amazing to look at this technology and understand what we have our hands on. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing our screen and I'm going to actually ask our first actually doctor of the evening, Dr. Joe Duggar out of Searcy, Arkansas. I would love it if you could unmute yourself and I would love it if you could share with us a little bit about yourself and why you chose to incorporate this into your life and into your practice.
Yes, thanks, Brittany. So I heard about this. It was almost a year ago, 11 months ago. My sister-in-law asked me to look at it for her, and I had never heard of X39 or LifeWave. but I have known of just tremendous results from stem cell therapies. And I practice, I'm family practice, so I see all ages of patients, and I have a clinic that's wellness focused. And so we have a gym in our clinic. Brittany, you've been to see our clinic before. So we really do want to keep people moving and keep them active as long as we can. And we really emphasize even older adults, some type of strength training, good nutrition. So our primary care, our form of primary care is very much, foundational components are going to be, fitness, nutrition. But the missing element has been for 25 years in my practice has been how do we keep people moving and keep them healthy when they get injured. If someone's doing an exercise program, there's almost always something that's going to happen. A shoulder's going to get sore, knees are going to get sore, and the body does just break down over time. And so we just really didn't. I could not really find an affordable way to have this repair and maintenance program that we wanted. I looked at class 4 lasers. I've looked at really nice infrared um, devices, and you're just talking about a lot of money to get those things and to start using them. And stem cell therapies, adult stem cell therapy can be very effective and can regenerate tissue. But again, you're talking about $5,000 to $30,000 per treatment. Insurance doesn't typically cover it, so it's just very expensive. And it's limited in space and time. You get an injection in one joint, and in a year or two, you're going to need another injection. So all those things to say, I had not found anything that would suffice for keeping people moving. So I was excited when I looked at this. I looked at the science behind it. I started talking to some others, healthcare professionals and others who were using it and recommending it for patients, and was very impressed. And so about 11 months ago, started recommending it for patients, started using it myself, my wife and I, our 4 kids, and we have some football players, some college football players, 2 of my sons, and then several of their cousins that all play football. And so they all started using it and recommending it for their friends and teammates, and just saw amazing results. I would say the most dramatic things that occur early for most people that I've seen have been the anti-inflammatory results. So joint pain, nagging injuries for the young athletes, like my younger son has torn both labrums in his shoulders, and so he just played with pain for the last previous 2 seasons, and then this last season he was using X39 and X49 and had no pain. Was able to play, all the season without any hitch at all, and not taking ibuprofen and anti-inflammatory medicines. So, very impressive results, and we continue to see those build as they've been using the patches longer, increasing muscle mass. I'm seeing that even in myself at 56 years old. So really big results there for athletes. But I would say the most impressive thing that I'm seeing is in the neurodegenerative diseases. So Tremor with a Parkinson's patient who couldn't write and couldn't feed himself, and the tremor went away within a week on the X39. Uh, we're seeing some patients with dementia who are actually getting better cognitively. We really don't have any pharmaceutical drugs that will do that. They're very limited in what they can do. So, just astounding what we're seeing, and I really believe we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg with what is possible with stem cells. Um, I'll be seeing a patient tomorrow actually who's for the first time who's coming to see me about a tremor, and so I was looking at the latest treatments that are available. This is a fairly young patient, so we'll do some tests to see what's causing the tremor, but this will certainly be a part of the discussion. But there's the newest cutting edge therapy for tremor is to use focused ultrasound and to actually destroy an area in the thalamus, which is a part of the brain, to stop the tremor. And it just makes me think when I see these, new cutting edge therapies like that, we're really almost in the Stone Age with some of the things that we do, destroying part of the brain to get a result that is beneficial. But what are you losing? What's the trade-off? And with this therapy, it's so affordable and it's so accessible, easy to implement. Anybody can do it. It's just one of those things that I think it's not hard to see, why someone would want to do it once you see what the benefits could be. And there are different responses. Not everybody has a quick response, but the vast majority of people that I have seen that start using the X39 do experience improvement in symptoms, inflammation for sure, but symptoms that are problematic within usually a few days to a few weeks. So I think that my approach is always to tell people about the potential benefits, to encourage them to start, but also I usually do tell them about the business opportunity as well, because I think the physical and the financial benefit of the patches are both phenomenal, and they go hand in hand. So there's always that discussion as well when I typically introduce someone to it. But yes, I would say for anyone who's considering starting or who's just started using this, have a mindset that this is going to be something that you're going to do. Sometimes you'll hear people say you need to do this at least 6 months. I usually say do this for at least a year to really see all the benefits that you could potentially have. And I just think the direction of this company, David Schmidt, the things that he's doing, the innovations, um, he's genius. And I think he's also, his heart's in the right place. I think he really is very sincere about his desire to just help the human race become um, more healthy and to be able to just live their God-given potential. So, very impressed with what he's done and what he's doing, the plans he has. And so I couldn't be happier about what we've got now with the X39. And, we have a lot of older adults in our fitness programs, and quite a few of them are using the patches now and just really feeling better, moving better than they have in years. So we just have continued to be super impressed with what it's doing.
I love it. I love it. I love going out there and getting to see everyone and seeing everyone over the course of the last year, seeing how they have changed, even their faces. It's just been incredible. And getting to see how the young adults that are in that awesome college at Harding, that I get to see them and how good they're doing. So thank you so much, Dr. Duggar. We're so grateful for your time tonight. We're so grateful. So
Yeah, thanks for.
absolutely. I'm just so grateful. So grateful. So, Cameron, if you could jump on, Cameron Moffat, if you could please jump on, unmute yourself. I'm so incredibly excited to introduce Cameron Moffat out of Canada. I'm so incredibly excited about all that is about to happen, but all that already is, according to him. So, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Brittany, and thanks for the opportunity to talk. And to all the people that are watching tonight, thanks for your time. I know everyone's really busy these days, so thanks for taking the time out to listen to all of us speak. I've only been wearing the patch now for 2 weeks. I brought it into my clinic about 2 weeks ago. So I have a half a dozen or so patients that are starting to use it. Um, what I can share with the group is I put it on 2 weeks ago, as I mentioned, and I was on a Monday morning, and by Monday evening, my right side of my neck had seized right up on me, which is a bit unusual. And I thought this is a bit strange. What's going on? I sort of ignored it. I'm probably one of the worst patients you could ever want to work with. I ignored it for a few days, and by Wednesday, I was thinking I got to do something about this. It's getting really too tight. So I was actually sitting there in the evening, sort of working on my neck a little bit. And I thought, geez, this is exactly the same spot that I had a whiplash 35 years ago. And I thought, this is interesting. So I decided not to do anything at all. No remedies, no manipulations, just left it to see what the patch would do. And I woke up Friday morning quite astounded because I had absolutely no neck pain at all. And what was even more important to me was I had full range of motion on the right side of my neck, which had always been somewhat limited because of the damage from the original whiplash. So I found that quite startling. As I, in 5 days, this patch had the stem cell activation had actually obviously disrupted some of the ligamentous structures and the alignment of my vertebra to the point that it caused a little bit of discomfort for a bit, but it realigned it to the point now where I have full range. The other thing I noted too is for the last 2 years, I've been probably sleeping 5 hours solid and getting up once or twice in the night. And in the last week, I've had, out of the 7 nights, I've had 5 of these nights, so I've slept right through the night. I wake up in the morning, I'm actually a bit startled. I don't think I got up at all. And so that's quite a profound change for me. And of course, you wake up in those situations feeling so much better because you've slept right through the night. So I'm really excited to bring this technology into my practice, and I'm a practitioner who really wants to know that what I'm bringing in and sharing with my patients, because they trust me, that it is actually safe and will do no harm, obviously, but it's also effective. I've looked into, like Dr. Duger had looked at some of the wave technology. I looked at some of those machines and various technology, and it's quite expensive, and it puts quite a load of cost on the patient. And you have to be using it for quite a while before you see much in the way of any benefit. So when I was introduced to this technology through a friend of mine who's also now involved in the business of it, I was quite skeptical. And in my conversations with you, you were kind enough to send me all the research and the patents, and I had to look at them. And I thought, this is somewhat irrefutable. It's being recognized by the U.S. government as actually working. And the research, I think I said to you, don't send me the research that you've paid for, that LifeWave has paid for. Send me the third-party placebo-controlled studies. And you did. And I had to read them and thought, wow, this is actually legit. So this, in my opinion, folks, is really the next advancement in the next paradigm shift in how we are going to be delivering healthcare. To actually have the person's own light wave frequencies be stimulated in such a way that the body itself starts to heal from their own light is quite phenomenal. And I think at some point, I was standing in front of my office one day in my clinic, and I was looking at all these remedies I have on my counter and in my cabinets. I thought, if this goes away, I think it's going to go. All these remedies may in fact become redundant at some point.
That's just so incredibly exciting. That is so incredibly exciting. So I know that Canada is really a wide open area. It really, really is, right? Because this came from, we are in over 84 countries. I think now 85. But what's interesting is that people say, "Well, I've never heard of this before." Well, it has to start somewhere.
It
And
does.
so,
It does.
so I really love the fact that we were talking earlier and you said, Brittany, I was talking to people, it's really a wide open market. What have you found
Mhm.
out in Canada? I mean, what have you found and heard?
Well, one of the things, of course, different between the United States and Canada is we have what's called social medicine, which has its advantages. It's nice to have, but it also limits the medical community to become a bit complacent in how they deliver healthcare because there's really nobody challenging it. As a patient in Canada, you can't just switch around to doctors. It's not possible. We have long wait times. The delivery of quality medicine, in my opinion, in the last 10 years is definitely declining, certainly since the pandemic. So there's a hungry need in people right now to find ways that actually are going to help them get better, that are effective and sustainable, lasting. And the other thing is affordable. Even though in social medicine, you think you don't pay for it, essentially you do through your taxes. So people want to have good quality healthcare delivered that is affordable, and that's one of the things that really caught my attention. I've had a few patients say to me, "Oh, I don't know if I can afford that, $149 or whatever happens to be a month for a sleeve." And I said to them a number of times, "You can walk into a health food store nowadays and spend $149 very quickly, and you're basically patchworking your healing." Whereas with these stem cell technology, you're allowing the innate wisdom within the body to decide, like you mentioned earlier, Brittany, to triage what needs to be healed now and then go and heal it. That's quite affordable medicine. So yeah, I'm finding that Canadians are becoming somewhat disgruntled with our delivery system of medicine, and they're very interested in encouraging me to bring this stuff forward. And I have a lot of people that are very interested in it right now.
I just love it. Oh, Cameron, I'm so excited to hear all the testimonies that happen from all of your patients because I know that that's what's going to happen. So
Mhm.
I'm just so excited for the future. Thank you so much for being our guest tonight. I
You're
can't
welcome.
wait to see what ends up happening. It's just going to be so amazing. So
Yeah,
much
it's
life
going to
to
be.
do, and we're all going to be going to Canada. So very, very excited. So,
You're all welcome. Come on up. We have a great time
that-
up here.
Canadians are always the friendliest. So I love
Supposedly, that's what I hear. Yeah, yes.
it.
Yeah,
All
I'll
right.
apologize. I'll apologize now and say a couple times just to make it all sound authentic.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much. So our
You're
last
welcome.
guest for the evening is going to be Megan DiMartino. Megan, I'd love for you to jump on. We are so excited for you to jump on. Just unmute yourself and you can go ahead and speak.
Yes, ma'am. Well, welcome everyone to Novita Beauty Regenerative Wellness. I'm sitting in the boutique, the lobby of our clinic that I have been in for the last 20 years outside of Austin, Texas. But I have been in the beauty wellness space for many, many years. Uh, Basically, how did I get into the regenerative world? It was myself. In 2018, I could not walk. And according to Western medicine, I needed a knee replacement and did not want surgery, the downtime, or the danger. So I'm a researcher of sorts. I've been developing medical grade skincare for 33 years and knew of stem cell. I'm talking about perinatal birth product. And so did do that in 2018. And I had a very, very positive result. But, and this brings me to here where we are, um, the perinatal stem cells will, which are not from you, they're coming from a scheduled C-section, a woman who has been vetted and it's very safe, but A, it's very expensive, and B, they do not last for more than a year in your body working to, as you use the word triage, to the area of inflammation or need. And so, with that said, people would have multiple uh, treatments. Let's say they started with one knee, they'd have the next knee. So, yes, it eliminated the need of surgery. But regardless of that, it was very expensive and it didn't last forever. And so in 2021, I was introduced to LifeWave, interestingly enough, by the company that I bought our perinatal stem cells through. And one of the things that they shared with me was the very, very solid company, because I don't do anything unless I personally vet the company or the product. And with that, the solidness of the company and the science. And that, the whole structure of that was very, very important to me. I used it myself, which I always do. I start with me. And then with that, I started introducing it to patients who had the perinatal stem cell. And to this moment, 50% of all of these people who have had regenerative stem cell perinatal were introduced to LifeWave X39 and are continuing to use it. And so it has been a journey of within this practice, but I recognize very clearly as these years have gone on and my own personal benefit. I'm turning 75 in August. I use X39, I use Alavita, I use Carnosine and Eon and many of the other patches. But the point is that the science works. And I'll just share this, that in 1992, I was introduced as an esthetician and a product developer of glycolic, one of the original glycolic acid alpha hydroxy fruit acid family products sold to salons way before a spa ever began, or a medical spa for that matter. I was introduced to a photon light therapy unit, handheld, to do photofacials, photon light therapy. LED light, but the range of light was very powerful. And I've been working in light therapy for 30 some odd years. I believe so strongly in light therapy and have infrared saunas, have had them in my businesses for years. So when I was introduced to LifeWave and specifically X39, A, I had been working in stem cell perinatal. B, I had been working in light therapy, understood it. And it is, and both doctors have shared this, that this is, and you, Brittany, do this magnificently every time you educate. This is the cutting edge. And you, Dr. Cameron, you said this a minute ago, that you looked at a shelf unit of many things, and this will replace so much. Because as Brittany always says, it works on everything, on everyone. It's just a matter of time. And so it's truly, I mean, from uh, I could just go on and on about the conditions that people have been utilizing this for, but for um, for not only early stages of dementia, but tendinitis to uh, just different brain structures or challenges, I should say, to anything osteo, as you said, Dr. Duggar, and is amazing for. I've had stem cell now in my knee and then my shoulder before I was introduced to LifeWave. But remember, perinatal stem cells do not last forever. And so again, that was a long time ago. Someone said to me just today in a consult, meaning that I did hiking with someone recently and walked up this mountain. To me, it was a mountain. And yes, I mean, this many years later, but what's maintaining this for me, and I do not take any medication. I will not, um, meaning I'm going to always approach things this way. And with that said, I said, yes, this has been maintaining my health. And so I recognize that we have been put in I shouldn't say put, but have been chosen to share, and incumbent upon us to share with everyone this technology and what David Schmidt has done and will continue to do for the health and wellness of people.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, Megan. And you just have been such a blessing. There are so many testimonies within your organization, which has just been absolutely incredible. So thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you were able to share this evening. So this is how you're going to wear the technology. So now all of them, actually, all of our medical professionals have touched on this, that sometimes it works immediately. Sometimes it takes time. 70% of people see a miracle between 5 minutes and 5 days. 97% of people see something absolutely incredible within 90 days. Why? Because it takes time for those cells to completely turn over. Imagine that there's a dimmer switch inside your body, and the longer that you use this technology, the brighter and brighter that dimmer switch goes, right? And that's what ends up happening. And then it's like a light bulb switches on. So you're going to put this technology where you need it. For patent purposes, remember, you cannot patent placebo. For patent purposes, to prove that it worked, they put two places. They chose underneath the belly button for the most open point to the gut, or on the back of the neck for the most open point to the brain. However, you put it where you need it. I had a severe whiplash in my right arm. You put it on your right arm, and oh my goodness, within a few days, I was able to actually cancel my surgery. But remember, give it the time that it deserves, because your body is going to triage, and your to-do list may be different than your body's to-do list. And you want to wear it 12 hours a day. Remember that your body is doing the work. So you need to allow your body time to rest, because it is elevating that GHKCU peptide. And then that body is now beginning to work, and those stem cells are going where they need to go. Stay hydrated with electrolytes. Very important, because let me tell you, if you're a prune, all of our medical professionals would come in agreement that it is much harder for those stem cells to travel where they need to go and triage and fix all of the areas of your body that need to be fixed. Now, real quickly, I'm going to tell you, please lean into this. This technology is absolutely incredible. LifeWave is absolutely astounding. This company, once the X39 was released in 2020, went from a $20 million company to a $100 million company. Every single person needs this technology. And what we're finding is that every single person is going to be introduced to this technology. Why? It simply works. It's the right company, it's the right leadership, it's everything that you could possibly want and the future of household names. This technology is brilliant. And so when somebody called and thought about you and said, you need to lean into this, let me tell you, what you're seeing is the future of health, the future of innovation. Think about Apple before it was Apple or Microsoft before it was Microsoft. The people that you love well and introduced to this technology are going to see absolute miracles and have testimonies. Also know that what you're a part of is something extremely unique before it absolutely becomes something even bigger than what you're seeing. Now, there is a documentary that is coming out that is called Let There Be Light. This documentary is going to be coming out at the end of this year discussing David Schmidt and all that he has developed throughout the years, and also incorporating some of our newest technology, and of course, highlighting the X39, which is the star of all of this. Now, we simply want you to know that you can wear it, but you can also share this technology. We've already established that every single person that you know and love needs this technology. You need this, absolutely need it. But there is an option if you choose to share it that you absolutely can. LifeWave knew that in order for this to go all the way across the globe, that they didn't want to pay for infomercials. This was too personal of a technology that people needed to have testimonies and share with one another. So if you say, you know what, I love 4 people, I love 5 people, I love 10 people, then do understand that this company actually gives you the option of being a part of what is called a binary. You get a spot within the organization that you join, and you get to bless others, and you can get your patches paid for if you choose to do so. There are actually 6 ways to earn within LifeWave if you choose to lean into that. But most importantly, the testimonies. Everything that you've heard tonight from all of our medical professionals is absolutely astounding. But if you say, well, I want to know about stroke or I want to know about neuropathy, the answer is yes. On everybody, on everything, every single time, given enough time. Go to thisisatinfo.com and you're going to be able to take a look at the patents, take a look at the studies, take a look at testimonies, and see all that we have our hands on. And duplication is key. So if you turn around and say, oh my goodness, this was such a blessing. Well, we will have this ready for recording so that you can share this with the people that you love. But the other piece of the puzzle is if you decide that you're going to share this, you have an absolute plethora of information available to you at all times. This again is going to be your go-to page. Thisisatinfo.com, and you can go and see all of the studies. But what I would suggest is that you give yourself an opportunity to be a blessing to yourself and be a blessing to the people that you love. Now, this right here is a testimony that came in and it blesses my heart. This right here on the left is because somebody told somebody about this technology. This lady, Anita, she was actually struggling with her kidneys, and her kidneys were down at 50%. And after 4.5 weeks of using this technology, she went to the doctor and she is now at 85%. This is the power of the technology that you have your hands on. People are praying for this technology. They're hoping for this technology and they don't even know it. So there are 4 ways to get started. You want to get back to the person that invited you to this. You can do retail like what Cameron was saying. You can absolutely do retail, $149 a month. But I don't suggest that. You can become a preferred customer at $99 a month so that you can, auto ship and you can stop at any time. Or what I tell every single person to do is to lean into this. All of us know people that desperately need this. And I will tell you that it is proven that every single person is going to know about this technology. You need to get back to the person that invited you to this. Now, core is to see if it's right for you. And I can already tell you that it is. But if you want to just explore, you actually get a spot within their organization, and people after you actually fall underneath you in the binary if you choose to activate this and share this with anybody. So the core is great. The advanced is, Brittany, I know so many people that I want to bless. My answer would be, then do it. bless as many people as you possibly can. Jump into the Microsoft and Apple before it becomes absolutely everywhere, especially after that documentary. The advanced is 535. It gives you 6 months of the X39. The person that you get back to can actually talk about the other technologies that actually Megan tapped on. There are incredible technologies, one called Ice Wave, that within 5 to 10 seconds will block any discomfort whatsoever and bring it down to usually a level 1, 2, or 0. So that will block the pain while the X39 is activating those stem cells and your body's doing all the work that it needs to do to fix all the injuries, all the issues within your body. And then premium is what my husband and I did because we have a lot of children and there were a lot of people that we wanted to bless. So we would loan them a sleep while theirs came in so that we could all start together. And I will tell you that the people that we shared this technology with actually did, many of them received their miracle before I actually received mine. And so what I will say is that, uh, you know, God bless every single one of you. We're so incredibly excited that you have joined. We are so incredibly excited that you came on to hear about this incredible technology. And we are so incredibly excited to hear your testimony and what this technology has done for you and every single person that you love. God bless and have an incredible evening. Good night.